Hello students, welcome to online teaching. We are discussing chapter 6, the three orders. This is module 5th. In 4th we discuss about the third order of the society. Now here we will discuss about new agricultural technology. Earlier what was? Wooden plough was used for agriculture. Wooden plough was used for agriculture. But after the use of iron plough, the things started to change. What happened? By the iron plough, the land can be dig deeply. It means by the force it can be dig deeply, so that the tilling of the land that should be in an appropriate way, as well as the cultivation of the seeds or the crops that should be also in a better way. Okay, what happened? Even on the neck of animals, the iron plough was used instead of that shoulders. What was that? Instead of this, even on the shoulders, instead of neck. What was that? That earlier on the neck of these animals the plough was put, but when the iron plough come and it was modified and it was put on a little bit shoulder side, means a little bit outer side, and due to this more pressure can be exerted, and so that the tilling and the digging of the land that was deeply and sowing of seeds was also in a better way. That was also next thing. What was that? Now the farmers started 3 cropping season. Earlier 2 were there, now 3 cropping season were there. What was that? In winter, the wheat and rye that were used, and you may say in that summer or the spring season, the oats, barley and corn, such type of the crops were grown, even both for animals as well as for the human beings. And third season that was left as a fallow land. It means earlier only 2 seasons were there. A single crop was grown and sown, and another season that was a fallow land. But by this iron plough, the cropping pattern changed. One was sown into the season of winter, another that may be in the spring or summer, and due to this, the cultivation of land that was in a proper way, and due to these types of the crop, they also improved the fertility of the land. And one time they had to leave it fallow. Fallow means vacant, so that the lost nutrients can be covered. It was very beneficial for these, but it was a loss. If we see in the eyes of the farmers, because in a single season they can grow something that can improve their conditions. Now what happened? Due to more agriculture production, the age of the peoples increase. How it increased? Because they were getting good food. Earlier only 2 cropping season were there, enough food were not there, and even large part of land were divided into smaller parts, because on the large part of land it was difficult to sow or cultivate. But if these land are to be into the small pieces, then it can be maintained easily and it can be controlled, and even the sowing can be done in a better way. That was the major thing. And even what happened, the European people were getting good food as well as in large quantity. This was an also important thing. Earlier their life average age that was very less, but when more production was there, agriculture rotation was also there, and new technology of iron plough that was also there, so it increased the average age as well as their health status. And even windmills and water mills were also used to compress grapes for wine making. It means the loads, because on this only loads can invest, because in this a lot of money was required, and the poor peasants, they can't have such type of money, so only this was to be done by the loads. Next thing, what was that? The farmers also started some changes in their agriculture. It means different crops they can cultivate, and even without the permission of these lords, because now they were becoming self-dependent. More and more production was there, so the people were benefited, and due to this increase in the population, that was also another factor, that there was increase in the population, the health status, and the improvement in their economic conditions. All such things were going on. Okay, now next thing, due to this good agricultural production, there comes the fourth order. The fourth order. That was also an important thing. What was that? Due to increase in population, the fourth order also began to develop. How it was that? And even industrialization and urbanization also started. How it started? Because iron was used. What was that? Industrialization and urbanization both started. What happened earlier? The Roman cities were converted into deserts. But when the fourth order come, then they started to increase in the number of the population, number of the peoples. And what happened? Iron that was used for the safety of animals in the form of shoes. How it was that? It means the hoof of these horses or the animals, they were covered with these iron sheets, and due to this there was less damage to their legs or their hoofs. Now they can work more and in a convenient way, in a better way. And due to this, what happened? Some of the people started this work. Some of people started this work. This was also an important thing, because in this options were there. And what happened? Near to the places of churches, manors, markets were set up. How the markets were set up? Because good availability of food, nutritious foods were available, and due to this life expectancy also increased, and due to this the churches or the manors, now the people started to have the markets. Now they did not have to move from one place to another for their goods. Now they can sit at one place and do the marketing. And due to this, there was increase in the numbers of businessmen and shopkeepers. Increase in the number of shopkeepers and businessmen. Increase in the number of shopkeepers and businessmen. And for that, what will be required? The next thing was bankers and lawyers. Also, bankers and lawyers, their number also increased. They were skillful persons. So such type of people were also required, because for the business, money and law and lawyers both will be required. That will help a lot. Okay. Next thing, what was that? The group of, you may say, the businessmen. Group of businessmen was called as guilds. Now what? They can do business, they can move from one place to another, and even export and import was also started. It means earlier the Roman civilization that was grounded, now it started to have some life. Due to this fourth order as well as the new technological things. Okay. Now next thing, what was that? Even the peasants and serfs also improved their economic condition. Economic conditions means even they can do some of the businesses, or even they can take part in of the other economical activities. So this fourth order gave an opportunity to the Roman society or the European society to flourish, and due to this a number of ways were opened, a number of paths were opened. A new light came that gave a, you may say, direction to every of the people. So these things were there that were the part of this fourth order.